Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Ditching the Spotlight. I'm your host Rob, and if this is your first time here, welcome. In this podcast, we interview celebrities who have shifted their influence from fame and fortune to something they love. In today's interview, we are talking to Eric Violette, a French-Canadian actor who was featured in the insanely popular FreeCreditReport.com commercials. Here's the interview. All right, guys, so in today's episode, we are talking to a man whose face most of you will recognize, an absolute commercial television legend, Eric Violette. You may recognize his face as the lead singer in the FreeCreditReport.com commercials of the mid-2000s, and we're asking him some questions today. How are you, Eric?
I'm pretty good. It's January in Quebec. It's pretty cold, but I love it. It's a beautiful sunny day. Rock and roll.
Awesome. I've been to Canada only once up near Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And I went up in like the middle of the summer and it was still only like 70 degrees. So I can imagine that January up in Quebec is pretty cold.
Yeah, but Sault Ste. Marie is a little bit. I think it's a little bit northern than Quebec, where I live actually. But yeah, Sault Ste. Marie, it's nice. I've been there a couple times. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I didn't really get to see any moose when I was there, although I was hoping to see one.
Oh, really? I'm surprised because every time I would go to this area in Ontario, I would either see a moose, a bear, or an eagle or a fox. It's pretty wild up there. So maybe next time.
I hope
Better.
so. I hope next time I go up there I can see something exotic. As exotic as moose and eagle are. So we're gonna play so we're gonna play one of the songs now. This one's a pirate themed Western song.
They say a man should always dress for the job he wants. So why am I dressed up like a pirate in this restaurant? It's all because some hacker stole my identity. Now I'm in here every evening serving chowder and iced tea. Should have gone to freecreditreport.com. I could have seen this coming at me like an atom bomb. They monitor your credit and send you email alerts, so you don't end up selling fish to tourists in t-shirts.
A man should always dress.
I think you have a nice voice. They should have let you do they should have not dubbed it. They should have let you have your voice on there.
Thank you very much, Robert. Well, I think back then my French Canadian accent was even stronger than it is right now. So now when I sing, you hear it, but it's not as obvious as it was like 10 years ago. So I think they just didn't want to take any chance.
Yeah, and maybe they were thinking like we're gonna be marketing this mostly to Americans, and if it's not an American singer, it might throw them off a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And Dave Muenfeld is the guy who sang the commercial. Has a really nice voice on it too. He's the original composer actually. His name is Dave Muenfeld. He's also recording, producing, and doing his own music. So I encourage you to look him up.
I definitely will. Have you ever had the chance to meet him in
Oh,
person?
yeah, of course. Every time we would like film a commercial, we would he would be there and give me notes like, oh, can you try this? Can you try this? Oh, you own it. That's good. Or no, more like that. Yeah, it was. He's a really cool guy. I really enjoyed spending time with him.
I mean, that's got to be so helpful to have the person who wrote the song and composed the song there to help you with little notes and little critiques on how to really sell it.
Yeah, of course, because it's collaboration. When you do anything actually, like you speak with the director, you speak with the guy who's composed it. It's like everything is already in his mind, so you just try to pick up as much as you can as an actor to make them happy because they're the client. It's but there's also like an artistic side of it. Of course, it's a commercial, but it's still like you know uh, you want to do the best you can. So yeah, but it was nice. Dave was really a beautiful human being. It was great. Yeah, a great team.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to definitely look into his stuff. I'm sure I can find it on YouTube or maybe Spotify.
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably. Yeah.
All right, Eric. So let's start at the beginning. How did you end up getting linked up with Free Credit Report and ending up being broadcasted to millions of homes all over America?
Oh, that's yeah. Well, they filmed the commercials in Quebec because like presumably it was cheaper to film in Quebec. and also like the whole thing was like less expensive. That if you would film in Los Angeles, it was more expensive for the union cost and everything. So I think they came in Quebec, and the casting director knew me from the a previous audition I had made with her, and she knew I was able to sing and play guitar. So she's like, "Oh, let's bring Eric for an audition," which I did. I think the first two songs we learned was the pirate song, and the second one was the no, I'm sorry, it was Dream Girl and the New Car songs. So we had to learn these two songs, and I did the audition, and they called me back for a second audition. I think it was two or three auditions in total. I don't remember. I think anyway, but they were hesitating between me and another guy, and I think they decided to go for the curly hair. So and the other guy was a total, very different casting. He had like glasses and everything, a little bit more like serious type of,
Okay.
uh, you know. Anyway, this is how I got the gig.
Well, I'm glad you did. And you mentioned the new car commercial. That's my favorite one. I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly why, but I really just love that one.
It's maybe because we had a lot of fun filming it. It was so much fun. Like I was it was one of my first like professional gig as an actor. And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm getting paid to have fun with like two other dudes in a car and just driving the car and just like, I was like, "Really? That's my job?" Yeah. Yeah, thank you, life. Thank you.
Hey, well, that's really awesome. So of the 9 original songs, do you have a favorite?
It keeps changing, huh? Uh I really like back then the rock star. When you're a rock star, you got to party hard.
Mm.
Like I really like that one because I've always aspired to be a rock star, I guess. But I really like the Dream Girl, for sure. Uh, well, I married my dream girl. Yeah, that one I really like too. Yeah, but I think, yeah, these two were my favorites. Yeah.
I really like Rockstar, and I really like the new car, as I mentioned a moment ago. But in all honesty, all of them are awesome. They're just jams all the way around. And like, I think that uh, the fact that like some of them are kind of acousticy, some of them are kind of hip hoppy. You get
Yeah.
like this wide variety of different kinds of music, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think Dave did an awesome job of like, picking up all these different style and doing something very good and very yet very catchy at the same time. I was very amazed every time I would listen to a new song, and sometimes you would write like more songs that was needed to. We film like each time we would film like three commercials, but Dave would like write more than three songs, and I was like just amazed by his capacity to do something so good on each different style. So rock and roll, man. Dave, hope you're doing well. If you hear me.
I'll try to link him in this if I can find his information.
Yeah, of course.
So let's play another song for our listeners. We're gonna play. I think it's called "Living with In-Laws" or maybe "Dream Girl."
Well, I married my dream girl, but she didn't tell me her credit was bad. So now instead of living in a pleasant suburb, we're living in the basement at her mom and dad's. No, we can't get a loan for a respectable home, just because my girl defaulted on some old credit card. If we'd gone to freecreditreport.com, I'd be a happy bachelor with a dog and a yard.
Well, I married my dream girl. I married my dream girl, but she didn't tell me her credit was bad. So now instead of living in a pleasant suburb, we're living in a basement at her mom and dad. Yeah,
I
that's
love
the
that one. It's
that's
so good.
the apartment where we filmed this commercial was so freaking small. We used a lot of like wide angle lenses, but it was so small. Like it doesn't show as much on the screen, but it was literally like, I don't know, like 8 feet by 8 feet, something like that. It was
Wow. Well, you
it,
can see most of the apartment in the shot, and like I think what people don't realize is it's not just the band and the girl walking around. There's an entire production crew in that tiny apartment with you.
Exactly. I think they were looking for the smallest apartment on the whole city of Montreal, and they found it. It was, yeah, there was like the guy like doing the lights on the corner, and the other dude like doing the, I don't know, the sound on the other side. Like it was crazy. It was great. Great memory.
It's one of those experiences you never forget.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It sticks with me. It's like a tattoo.
Absolutely. So, in 2012, the band came back to the airwaves as part of a comeback campaign. Did you enjoy getting back into the swing of things?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Just, when you're able to make a living out of the things you love, there's nothing better than that. And I was very grateful to see the guys, of course, like Vince and Mario, the drummer and the bass player and the band, and also like to see Danny. Danny died, unfortunately, from cancer, but
Oh, I'm
it was,
sorry to hear that.
yeah, but it was a pleasure to work with him. Although I have to say, the very first meeting I had with him, I was like, "Oh my God, this guy! I'm not gonna like, oh my God." So I was nervous and everything, but it ended up that we got along pretty well. But yeah, and to see Dave again, to see Mark from the Frequent Report company as well was nice. It was just a whole family, we would see each other every year or 2 years, and like, hey, what's up, what's happening, and it was just great. And the old lady as well, the old lady in the commercial, she would always like bring cookies and stuff like that. It was great.
That's awesome. I was actually going to ask about her. Did she have like an on-screen name, or was she just the old grumpy lady?
I thi- I think in the script it was just like old lady. uh, I don't remember her real name though. I don't remember.
So, we talked about this a little bit right before we started the interview, but what did you think of the Mad TV parody that was released?
Yeah, actually, I think it's pretty good. Um, I had to watch it again, to be honest, because it's been a while, So I was like, I need to get a proper opinion of that thing, so I need to watch it again. But yeah, it's really good. It's really funny. I like how they push the limit and the guy goes to jail, and yeah, that's good. Yeah, I loved it. Mhm.
I really liked it too. My wife thinks it's the funniest thing in the whole world. So when the commercials were being aired, how often were people stopping you to ask about them?
It's funny because I live in Quebec, and they didn't they didn't air the commercials in Quebec. So for me, it was just like a gig that I filmed a couple months ago, and I kind of forgot about it. And then I crossed the custom because I wanted to do a road trip in the United States, and the guy at the border is like, "Are you that guy in the commercial?" It's like, you know how they are, like
Yeah.
super serious, like, "Are you that guy in the commercial?" Like, well, the free credit report commercial. Yeah, 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 it's me. Oh my God. And then he became all out of sudden super like relaxed and not serious anymore. So I think I realized, oh, something is happening, And then I would like travel the United States, and every time I would get out of the car in a restaurant, a grocery store, everybody would recognize me. I was like, oh my God, that is, it was not expected. And then I realized that they were airing these commercials all the time on television. I was like, oh my God, that's really interesting. And I came back in Quebec, and it was like, I spent
Back to
like,
normal.
yeah, back to normal. I spent a month in the United States, like signing autographs and stuff like that. It was the beginning of selfies with the guy on television. So yeah, and then I came back, and it was like completely quiet. That was an interesting moment. It's I think it made me realize how fame and, like, recognition is something very paradoxical, because you get it, people get an image of you when you're on television, and it's nice, and it's great for the ego and everything. But the fact that I came back a month afterwards and that it was completely silent, I think it was good in a way, because it's like, no, like, reality is not. Okay, how can I say that? Like, yeah, I'm famous in the States for a commercial, but like, life is what it is, and it doesn't change who you are. Like, it was like very, oh, okay, like, oh, my ego became big for a month, or my pride, whatever how you want to call it, and then, ooh, okay, we come back to earth. That's good. Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of interviews, getting prepped for this podcast, and um, celebrities talk about going to other countries and then not being recognized, and how it's kind of a vacation for them, not only because they're in a different country and experiencing that, but fewer people recognize them. They can go to a movie theater or a restaurant without being bothered. So it was almost the opposite for you. You
Oh
were
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's actually the opposite. Yeah. So I would go to United States and get a bath of like autographs and stuff like that, and I would come back, and it would be quite. Yeah, that's exactly the opposite for me. Well, yeah, it's funny. I think it's nice. I mean, it's nice to be recognized for some work you've done, of course. Uh, I mean, who wouldn't want that? Well, I know some people wouldn't want that, but for me, it was great, and I'm not shy to say it was a lot of fun. But it was also fun to come back and like be with my friends who knows who I am, and just to spend really uh good time with connected people who are not like whatever, projecting any image of myself because they saw me on television.
Did you ever have anybody in the States approach you and ask you about it, and they're like, "Wait a minute, your voice is different than in the commercials."
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, all the time, because my French Canadian accent was like, and some people sometimes they wouldn't believe me, like, you're not that guy, you have an accent, like a French Canadian accent, like, it's not you. It's like, yeah, it's me. It's like, oh my god, and he would look a picture on his phone on the internet and then put it next to my face, like, oh my god, that's you.
That's
But yeah,
funny.
it's funny because it's yeah, everybody expect that it's my voice, on the commercial, of course, but it's not. My voice is very different.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I think that they should have just let you do it, because like I've listened to God Against God, and you're talented, and I get the marketing perspective of a French Canadian guy singing for car insurance in the United States. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Uh,
we're gonna play my favorite song, my favorite commercial song, which is "Used Car."
Well, I was shopping for a new car. Which one's me? A cool convertible or an SUV? Too bad I didn't know my credit was whack, cause now I'm driving off the lot in a used subcompact. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Saw their ads on my TV. Thought about going but was too lazy. Now instead of looking fly and rolling fat, my legs are sticking to the vinyl and my posse's getting laughed at. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby.
new car, which one's me? A cool convertible or an SUV? Too bad I didn't know my credit was whack, 'cause I'm driving off the lot in a used subcompact. F-R-E. That was fun, man.
That's one of my favorites, because it's so like it's exactly the kind of music I listen to, like,
Yeah.
when I'm not watching a commercial. So let's move on a little bit to like after the commercials stopped airing. Like what was your focus after that?
Well, my credit became bad. My
They didn't
focus.
help you out with the credit, huh?
Kidding. Well, it was a good gig, well, my focus was music. I mean, you know, of course, I tried to make it happen with God Against God, my rock band. We did a tour in the United States in 2011, and I bought my own recording studio. So basically, I was recording, my own projects, but also like I started to be involved with a community of people who were doing a very different genre of music, which was inspired by, let's say, ceremonial work with different type of plant in South America. Uh, and I can say the name of one of the plant. It's ayahuasca. I don't know if you heard about that, but
I'm
it's
familiar with ayahuasca.
oh good, yeah. Interesting. Maybe we can dive a little bit deeper in that topic.
Sure, I'm always down. Little dimethyltryptamine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you experienced it?
I haven't. I've been interested in it, and I've looked it up and watched people talk about it on YouTube, but I haven't had the opportunity to try it myself. I watched a lot of Joe Rogan, and he talks a lot about
Oh yes,
DMT. So
yeah. He's a big fan of those experiences. Well, it's for me. It was. I don't think that this medicine is for everyone, but it definitely changed my life personally. I think there are three things that really changed my life, and it's three tools that I would use like just to ground myself. Like it's meditation, ayahuasca, and the Wim Hof method, and the breathing technique, and the yeah. Anyway, so we can talk a little more about that. But what happened actually after the commercial is I started to record artists who were involved in these type of circle, um, and the first experiences that I had with that medicine or within that realm or that community, the first thing that was very amazing to me is the music. It was so different than anything I would have heard. I had heard before. It was so different. You would hear music, melodies that to me was coming from another realm, from another world. Like I was used, I really like all genre of music, classical music, rock music, like industrial music, pop music. But I would go to these ceremonies, and the artists within that community was just out of this world. It was just so different than anything I had heard before. And I was drawn to record these artists, so I started to record a couple of these people who became my friend, you know, and it was basically my focus for after these commercials. I started to record people, and then afterwards, I was doing photography. I really enjoyed photography, so I started to do some gigs as a photographer. But yeah, so I did some videography as well because of my band. Actually, I started to do like videos because I wanted to promote my band on YouTube, God Against God. So I started to do more videos. So now yeah, this has been my focus for the past years, let's say. And of course, my credit was not as good. It's partly true. So I had to find another job. Like I didn't live out of recording all the time. So sometimes I would like go find another job, like the guy in the commercial, an iced tea. So, but my focus was only about music. Like, there you go. That's a long answer for a short question, but
no,
it's
I love it. I love it. So yeah, your band God Against God. Can you tell everybody where they could find your music and listen to your songs? I know you mentioned YouTube.
yeah, YouTube. I think it's the best way because I've taken down the website because I'm focusing on another project right now, musical project. So God Against God is like I've released the last video, I think 2-3 months ago, and I want to put my energy into something else. So but the music is still there. I mean, it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, but I'm very happy with the work I've done with the last 3 videos. If people go and look it up, the last song was Already Gone. It's a very personal song, very personal to me, and I it's because basically it I share a very personal story about letting go. Because for me, life is an experience of letting go all the time, because everything is always changing. There's nothing stable that will exist forever. Everything, we all gonna die, we're all gonna, we experience life, and we're happy when there's something new, and we try to control everything to a certain extent to make us feel comfortable with the the things that we know. Okay, this I like, I want this in my life, and I want to keep it. Okay, this person, this situation, this piece of gear, this whatever, and but at the end, nothing is gonna stay. And when I started to observe my own death, let's say, I started to, well, first of all, to humble myself a little bit more, and it was also a way for me to learn how to let go, because, and to see life with a different perspective, with a wider perspective, because all the stress that all the pain, all the resistance that I was like going through within my personal experience in life was all related to me trying to control or not letting go or resisting to a certain situation. But when you understand that, you're gonna die, and you think about that, you tend to be less of an asshole. First of all, you want to spend great time with the people you love, and you want to do what you want to do. You don't want to, spoil your time on earth with stuff that is not meaningful. So for me, it was a very big life changing a switch. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very personal story, and it happened that it's the last song that I released with God Against God. It's about letting go. So it's called Already Gone. So there you go.
That was beautiful, Eric. Thank you for that. I'm definitely gonna have to listen to that, and when I really want to absorb music, I'll look up the lyrics and I'll read the lyrics as the song plays and watch the video. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do that because it sounds like it's a really personal uh journey for you, and I really wanna absorb that. Um, so thank you for sharing that, and I will put a link in the description of the podcast below where you can find God Against God's YouTube channel.
Marvelous.
So, on a lighter subject, I know that you've been developing your own app. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's called Finally, with 2 E's at the end. Finally. Actually, it's we did that with a bunch of friends in San Antonio. The leader is called Pierce, is a friend of mine, and he approached me to be the spokesperson for that like project, and it was like, yeah, that sounds interesting. It's out actually. An app where you can, for example, you're looking for a place to eat, you're looking for a place to sleep, and you just like use that application to find. It's like, of course, like people, yeah, Google Map already does that, or Yelp already does that, but it's the concept about Finally is that it's there's no ads, and there's no fake reviews. All the stuff that because Yelp, it's been proven many times that you can, pay people to, give good review, or even pay people to give bad fake review to your competitor. So all that nasty behavior that, was hurtful to many, people. So Pierce decided to create that application, and I was just like, yeah, let's dive into this. So I spent a lot of time in San Antonio, and now he's moved to Massachusetts. So I spent time with him over there. It was a fun project. Yeah, check it
Awesome.
out. Finally.
I will. I'll download it. And going elaborating on the fake reviews, or the like, I've seen reviews where somebody'll, the food was really good and everything was really good except for the lighting was off, 1 star. And it's like, some people don't some people don't really have like an accurate way of judging a place or a facility or a company, and
Yeah.
they'll focus on the one little tiny thing that went wrong instead of the 100 things that went right. So
And it's in human nature as well, like to focus on the stuff that doesn't work.
yeah.
There's a really cool episode of South Park about like Yelp and all that stuff. If you haven't looked it up, check it out. The Yelp episode on South Park, it's hilarious. And
I
we were working on the app, and this episode was released, and we were like, yeah.
That's awesome. I do believe I've seen it, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna rewatch it just to remind myself.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier the Wim Hof method. Can you
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit on that? I know it's a breathing exercise, but I feel like not a lot of people are familiar with it, and I think a lot of people really could benefit from it.
Oh, totally. Especially right now. Especially right now. I mean, yeah, it's yeah, COVID and everything. Like, I think, yeah, it's a great signal that has been sent to the population to, you know, it's just how can I say that? Like, we need to take care of our health, It's, our body is our kingdom, and like, yeah, COVID is not nice, and there's, it's, but it's like, also it gives you a signal. Oh, maybe I should take care of myself, maybe, because it's not everybody who dies from it. So maybe it's, and I think the Wim Hof method is a great way to improve your health, especially with stuff like this virus. So basically, to make a story short, there's so much stuff on YouTube about this guy. His name is Wim Hof, like Wimhof. And basically, what happened is, uh, Wim Hof's wife died. She killed herself. She committed suicide, and he was, in a lot of pain. And he started to try to find a way to cope with that pain. And he just discovered the cold. As simple as that. And he realized that when he was into the cold, all his awareness, all his focus was, inside of him instead of into his pain. And he discovered that he was able to stay for a long period of time into the cold water, into like very cold weather, and he was never sick. He was never sick. So at one point, after breaking I don't know how many world record with uh, stuff related to cold exposure, like some scientific, I reached out to him like, all right, you pretend to not be sick, you pretend to like do all this stuff, we want to study your case. So he went to the hospital, and they injected Wim Hof with a virus that creates a very strong and fast response in the immune system. And Wim Hof was just there doing his breathing exercise, and nothing happened. And the doctors were like, what the fuck? How come you're not sick? You must be an exception. Well, good for you. And Wim Hof was like, no, this is no exception. There's a technique, and I can prove it to you. I'm gonna bring more people. Give me a week. I'm gonna train them. I'm gonna come back with them, and they will not get sick. And indeed, he trained a couple of people. They came back into the hospital, did the same test, and everybody was like clear. Everybody was fine. So when I watched a small documentary about it on YouTube, I was like very intrigued because I have a personal story with cold. I was 16 years old, and I went into a river and during the evening and to swim with a couple of friends, and I started to shake super intensively, and I was not able to stop shaking. And it was not that cold, it was during the summer, but there was something that happened within my body. And from that point, I was not able to go into water after during the evening. And something happened within my body. I don't know what it is. And I asked many doctors what is happening, and they had no answer. So I had a very harsh relationship with cold, and I was always getting sick, and so I started to experience that method. And now I can go inside, I can take a bath of very cold water and stay there for 2-3 minutes, and it's all good, and I'm not sick anymore. I think, okay, I'm not never I'm still sick once in a while, but maybe one time every year instead of like 5 times every year, so it's very it has improved my health. It has improved my emotional realm as well, because it's the breathing exercise is also very it's a reset of the emotional state as well. So it's a really cool thing. So check it out, Wim Hof Method. He's gonna sell it way better than I do.
I saw that on your YouTube you did a demonstration of it, and you were doing the breathing exercise, and then you kind of talked about how you felt afterwards, and I thought that was a really awesome video.
Yeah, you feel so good after the breathing exercise, but also after the cold exposure. It brings your body in a very calm, confident, relaxed way. Like, it's just amazing. It's like you don't need drugs. It's just breathing. Wow, you just breathe a lot. Yeah, you might get dizzy. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but just go through it, man.
I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to try it after our interview.
Beautiful. Check it out.
I will. So let's get more into questions about you, Eric. So can you tell us how you got started in music?
I started to play music. I was studying at the National Theatre School of Canada. I was studying acting, and somehow I felt more freedom when I was singing than when I was acting. So when I was studying at the school, we would have we would do a showcase, like with us singing songs at every semester, and I would enjoy it so much. And I discovered as well that I could write my own songs, so I can share values that are more personal to me than when I play like Molière, or Shakespeare. I mean, they're really awesome. Molière, Shakespeare, that's really cool. But I think just to share something more personal was just a little bit more. I don't know. I feel more like a whole, if you understand what I mean. So I started to play piano just to practice my singing, and the first thing I've learned was La Sonata à la Lune, Beethoven. What it was, the Sonata, Moonlight Sonata.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember it at all, but that's the first thing I've learned. And then I've learned some blues to practice my singing. and this is how it started. But when I finished the National Theatre School, we had a whole bunch of pianos over there at the school, but I didn't have a piano when I finished the school, so I bought a guitar because
Oh,
it's so
sure.
because the piano is it's heavy, you need it's hard to carry around if you
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
so I tried the guitar, and I think the guitar is now my main instrument, but yeah,
That's
yeah.
really awesome. That's really awesome. So, you had mentioned studying in cinema in Canada. Can you share some of your like Canadian cinema experience with us?
Yeah, the very first experience was in a movie called Les Échangistes. It was in a movie about how do you call that in English? Like when you exchange couple, like switch.
Oh,
Oh,
like swinging?
ringing. Yeah, there you go. And to be honest, it was not a super good movie, but but it did attract a lot of attention in Quebec because it was taboo, like this type of experience. And for me, it was interesting. Like, it was like, oh my god, first experience on a set. You know, as I told you, when you're getting paid to do what you love, I was not in a point in my career, and I'm still not in a point where I can like choose whatever I want. It's like something is it's there, and I just enjoy it because I love being on a set and being with actors, and it's a realm that I feel very comfortable. But the movie was not excellent. Yeah, yeah. But I love cinema. It's just like I've always been very attracted to it, and this is why I think I direct my own music video now because I love every aspect of like filming something. I love acting. I love the music. I love the cameras. I love directing. I love the lenses. I'm a gear slut. I love the camera. I love the buttons. Yeah, yeah. I love that. Yeah.
That's great. Gear slut. I've never heard that. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. I love buttons.
So, going back to music, could you speak to some of your musical influences?
Yeah, yeah. I think from like a lot of people from my generation, of course, Radiohead, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, of course, it's a classic. All these, icons like Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails, of course, Nine Inch Nail. It's very obvious Nine Inch Nail if you listen to God Against God because
I was gonna say that you have a very Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor like feel vibe to your music.
I think one of the reason why I stopped God Against God is I think God Against God it was a really nice experience. I really enjoyed everything that it has brought to me, but I was still too close to my influences, let's say, musically. And I think it's time for me to move on into something more personal and to trust myself a little bit more. So this one of the reason why you know, I left God Against God. But anyway, Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails. But now I think it was like back then. I think now my musical influence right now are I don't know. It's like I love a lot of like psytrance music. I've been to a couple of like electronic music festival. I've been to Burning Man. I've been to like a couple of festival like in Quebec in the United States, and I really really enjoyed like my time in those festivals. Like, and I start to listen to psytrance music and just dancing on electronic music, like eyes closed and not giving a shit about like people watching you is like such a beautiful experience. And I think somehow my cells fell in love with that feeling. So I started to love the electronic music a little bit more. And of course, all the music that is related to like shamanic experiences, stuff like that. So for me, it's also something that I'm a little bit more into.
Sure. So
So
you could almost say like less lyrical and more the sounds and the vibrations and everything of the music speaks to you more.
yeah, exactly. Well, I still listen to a whole bunch of different stuff, and this is the cool thing about Spotify. I hate Spotify, but I love it at the same time. It's like because it allows you to discover so many genres, so many artists, and there's so many great artists out there. It's crazy. It's like it's nice.
Who are you listening to lately?
I discovered Trevor Hall recently. Beautiful voice, so much soul. I've discovered also what's his name. He's done an album called Chasm. His name is 1 second. I'm gonna find it for you because Tony Anderson. Beautiful artist.
Tony
And
Anderson.
yeah, Tony Anderson is beautiful artist. So beautiful music, so inspired. But the major like inspiration that I got uh, was Juno Reactor. I've discovered this guy a couple months ago, and this guy is a freaking genius. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look this up. I've never heard of Juno Reactor.
Check him. It's the guy who made the music for The Matrix.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he's also like he's done a lot of like album with different collaborators, and it's really interesting. If you can look at the last album, is one of his best. Well, check the recent stuff. It's really well. I don't know if you like that kind of vibe, but
I do.
it's high energy for sure. But it's there's some genius in that high energy stuff.
Cool. I'll definitely check it out. And I'd like to encourage anybody listening to also check it out. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
even if it's not your genre of music, I feel like listening to different artists from different genres is always a really amazing experience, and you can kind of draw inspiration from every kind of music. So
Totally, yeah. Because this is what we're here for, inspire one another, whatever it is, as human beings.
absolutely, absolutely, I'm very much into that. So if you were approached by like a production company, would you consider doing more commercials?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. It's a very nice experience, and it's like, uh, how can I say that? Like, it depends. If it was for the free credit report commercial, that's what you mean, right?
Well, maybe
Okay.
Credit Karma.
Yeah, definitely. Because you know, it has brought me so much, like to be in these commercials, like not only like financially, like it gave me the opportunity to like buy all this gear, recording gear, and everything. But it's just as a human being, it was a nice experience. There's a couple products that I don't know, like, to be honest. There's a couple, like, because even in Quebec sometimes, like, there's some products that I just don't go for an audition because I just fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not in a point in my career where I can say no to, there's a gray zone. Like, okay, that, but I need money for that, so, like, okay, I'll go to the audition. But there's, that being said, I'm always enjoying being on a set. If it's for, like, whatever the product, I did a lot of commercials in Quebec as well after the free credit report commercials in the States, and I really enjoy it. Like, I've done, I don't know, 20 commercials, 20 different products in Quebec after the free credit report commercials, and every time is just so much fun. I love it. So it's great.
Awesome. Well, we hope to get you on another American commercial. I know everybody loved the song. I haven't heard a single person that I've talked to, and I told my friends and family I'm going to be interviewing the guy from the commercials, and everyone's like, "Oh, I loved those. Why'd they stop?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
I
why?
don't know. I don't know why.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Well, maybe we should ask them.
Maybe we should just make our own. So,
Yeah, let's call them.
well, I'm pretty much out of questions at this point. Is there anything that you wanted to plug or talk about before we jump off?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm currently doing a really cool project. It's not released yet, but I'm building my own instruments. It's a xylophone, and I'm gonna be like doing a fundraiser. Like I don't know which platform I'm gonna use, but like it's called V Vibe, V space Vibe.
Okay.
V for Violette. It's my last name, and I'm doing this project with my dad. So it's a xylophone that I built. I did the concept, and we're building instruments with my dad. And I'm gonna, as soon as the product is well refined and polished, we're gonna release it. So I think it's gonna be, I think this spring, hopefully. So check it out, V Vibe. It's a very ambient and cool instrument, but check it out.
I will. I will. I'll definitely check it out. Is there a place where they'll be able to, like, any social media that you can plug where they could find links to this when it does get released?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be on my YouTube channel, Eric Violette, on YouTube. I'm gonna release everything there, and also on my Facebook page. Everything is gonna be released. The website is not ready yet, so it's still a work in progress, but it's gonna be there soon. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, I will leave links in the description of the podcast for anybody to check out Eric's YouTube and his Facebook page. So once these awesome instruments are released, they'll have a place where they can check them out and hopefully purchase some.
Yeah. Marvelous. Thank you.
Awesome, Eric. Well, it was nice talking to you. Thank you so much for the interview, and I hope everything goes great for you.
Well, thank you for having me, and may the rock and roll be with you.
Rock and roll. Have a good one, brother. I have to say that Eric was an absolute blast to talk to, and I'd love to have him on again. If you have any questions for Eric or myself, or suggestions on If you have any questions for Eric or myself, or have a suggestion for a celebrity for me to interview, please reach out on Twitter at DitchingP. That's DITCHINGP on Twitter. In our next episode, we will be talking to Brendan Brown from the band Wheatus, so be sure to subscribe so that you're notified as soon as we post. Stay gnarly, my friends.